In this brief presentation, I will offer some thoughts on prints and social practice, and also show a series of projects done at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, with students in classes and with visiting artists. As multiples, prints have the inherent capacity to be distributed widely. The person who makes 30 prints might think about their audience differently than the person who makes a single work of art. Do people make prints because they're socially motivated, or do socially motivated people make prints? Is there something intrinsic to working in the shared space of a print shop that appeals to the socially engaged artist, or does this foster such engagement in creative people who might be less socially concerned? Every print studio fosters its own social culture, which can be expanded and enhanced when it comes together with another print studio. You might think of it as the ministry of two congregations working in tandem on a common project, which often deepens the sense of community in each congregation. In January 2011, students and faculty from the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, and Ohio University spent 3 days in the preparation for the annual Martin Luther King Parade. After watching Dr. King's 1963 I Have a Dream speech, we divided into teams to conceptualize our project, which included the creation of a large peace dove with printed feathers, oversized printed clasped hands, aprons, and a book to pass out to people along the parade route. Just as this project fostered a sense of community among the participants, its central purpose was social. Social practice as an art medium focusing on engagement through human interaction and social discourse. Since people and their relationships form the medium of such works, rather than a particular process of production, social engagement is not only a part of the work's organization, execution, and continuation, but also an aesthetic in itself, of interaction and development. Socially engaged art aims to create social and/or political change through collaboration with individuals, communities, and institutions in the creation of participatory art. The discipline values the process of a work over any finished product or object. The theorist Nicolas Bourriaud, in his 1998 book Relational Aesthetics, advances a concept of art as, quote, a set of artistic practices which take as their theoretical and practical point of departure the whole of human relations and their social context, rather than an independent and private space, unquote. The artist can be more accurately thought of as a catalyst in relational art, rather than being at the center of the work. In my other lecture on the UTKPrint YouTube channel on the exchange portfolio, I talk about a culture of trading works among printmakers, what Lewis Hyde identifies as a gift economy. Hyde argues that there's an essential aspect of art that cannot be bought or sold, and like creativity itself, can be thought of as a gift. The exchange portfolio is a social and democratic act in line with ideas of the gift economy. Such ideals are evident in the work of Just Seeds, an international collective of 30 artists who create prints, portfolios, and wheat paste projects designed to address social, political, and environmental issues. Based across the United States, Canada, and Mexico, the members of the group use the printed multiple and its capacity to be a portable muse to raise funds through their online store and to support their social causes. Among 20th century artists, certainly the German printmaker Käthe Kollwitz is emblematic of a socially engaged artist. Her husband Karl served the working poor in Berlin where they lived, and their son Peter died in World War I in 1914. Both of these experiences, living among the poor and having a son who died in war, informed her expressive art, which addressed issues of war, rape, poverty, and hunger. While individual acts of social conscience are important to artists such as Kolovitz, how can the collaborative aspects of printmaking allow for new forms of social expression? In 2017, the University of Tennessee Knoxville printmaking program hosted Austin-based artist Kyle Schlesinger to work with our students on a project titled The People's Curriculum for the United States. Modeled after Howard Zinn's A People's History of the United States, the project was an effort to create posters that would be distributed by and for the people, and sought to ask ourselves and one another what America needs to relearn in the new political order. For the project, students worked with Schlesinger to complete 11 different screen printed posters, each produced in 100 copies for free distribution on campus. Some of the completed posters read, "Know your privilege," "Is it that simple?" "Make space for dissent," "Apply empathy to world problems," and "Love is an American value." A subsequent entry-level class created screen-printed prayer flags, and like the project with Schlesinger, involves students collaborating to develop a list of concepts of importance to the American experience. The flags were addition so that each student retained one of the sets of flags, and extra sets were donated to the University Pride Center, the Campus Hillel Center, and the Student Health Center. Collaborative projects, which have a social and public-facing purpose, provide excellent opportunities to ask fundamental questions about art, such as why make art and who does it serve? For a separate project during the spring 2018 semester, students in the intermediate level class each produced a screen-printed poster for the 6th annual Hike the Hill in Heels. Sponsored by the UT Center for Health Education and Wellness, the event serves as a kickoff for the Sexual Assault Awareness Month in April. Participating students, faculty, and staff who marched in high heels from the Humanities Plaza up the hill to Ayers Hall could select one of the posters as a keepsake. As a form of footwear that is uncomfortable, high heels are intended to represent the need to discuss uncomfortable subjects, such as sexual assault. For another project, students in the intermediate printmaking course collaborated with students from New Hopewell Community Elementary School in South Knoxville to create a large mural for the school cafeteria. Meeting with students as part of their after-school program, drawings were created of owls, the school mascot, plants, bugs, and various components to create a large tree. The drawings were translated into screen prints that were cut and wheat pasted to form the completed mural. While Lewis Hyde's concept of the gift economy aligns with social practices in art, the transactional function of printed money is also a form of social exchange. Money itself has been the subject of many works of art. In 1968, presidential candidate Dick Gregory created a mock $1 bill as part of his election campaign, and real circulating currency is often manipulated through various forms of stamping and other printing. One of the best known examples of creative currency is the work of J.S.G. Boggs, who created small editions of mock money that he spent as part of transactions for goods and services. Boggs spent a whole year in Europe living off such transactions, and when prosecuted as a counterfeiter in Australia, was acquitted because of the creative nature of his practice and the understanding with people who engaged in these transactions that it was not real currency, but trading for a work of art. Using money as subject, UTK students have designed, printed, and hand-colored their own currency intended to be used as part of transactions. Following the example of J.S.G. Boggs, the experience of presenting one of your bills to a store clerk in exchange for goods or services puts the artist in a new social context. While printmaking students may be able to thrive in educational settings that foster social interaction and collaboration, life after school may not always provide such institutional structures. In a number of cities, community based print shops have been formed to address the need for working artists. A good example is the Chicago Printmakers Collaborative, which provides space for artists, community classes, and regular exhibition programming. Headed by artist Deborah Maris Latter, the Chicago Printmakers Collaborative also has held annual steamroller printing events that have expanded to involve local merchants and the neighboring community. Because prints are inherently portable, CPC has pursued exchange exhibitions with printmakers from other countries, including this exhibit with artists from Iran, which also brought members of the local Iranian American community to their studio. In his book Education for Socially Engaged Art, Pablo Helguera writes, quote, artists working in social practice co-create their work with a specific audience or purpose. Critical interventions within existing social systems to inspire debate or catalyze social exchange. The large overlap between social practice and pedagogy demonstrates the need for art education to embrace collaborative practice, unquote. He continues, quote, social practice work focuses on the interaction between the audience, social systems, and the artist through aesthetics, ethics, collaboration, methodology, antagonism, media strategies, and social activism. Although projects may incorporate traditional studio media, they're realized in a variety of visual or social forms, unquote, as multiples which are often made in shared and collaborative spaces. Printmaking is well suited to these forms of creative practice. Thank you.